Distinguished guests, colleagues, we shall now call upon our last speaker, but not the least. I've heard this amazing woman before, and she's Ms. Somachi Chris-Asoluka, the Chief Executive Officer at the Tony Elumelu Foundation, and she will speak to us about what they are doing. I think you'll all find it very exciting. Somachi, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, USG Fatima, for such kind words. And thank you for organizing this extremely important private sector forum. We look forward to the impact that we'll create together following this session. I'd also like to thank my fellow speakers from EIB, the Qatar Chamber, Microsoft, and the German government for their incredible work across the LDCs, especially the African LDCs. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. This is the important moment to make a generational statement. This is the moment to demonstrate commitment in action to young people. Indeed, this is the moment where we must collectively choose to stand on the right side of history. A moment to stand up for our African youth. When we launched the Tony Elumelu Foundation in 2010, we did something new in Africa. We democratized luck for young people. We created mass access to economic hope and opportunity. We created an institution with a single focus, empowering young African entrepreneurs. We created an institution where we funded, mentored, trained, and coached young Africans in a way that no one else had ever done before, to give them the funding, resources, support, and attention that he had been denied. 13 years ago, we knew that if we equipped young people with the tools and the opportunities to succeed, they would create jobs instead of chaos. They would alleviate poverty instead of crossing the Mediterranean. They would empower their communities instead of falling prey to extremism. Empowering young Africans to be entrepreneurs and creators of small businesses is the only sustainable and dignified way to create a path for prosperity for all. We are substituting handouts with self-reliance, replacing a job-seeking mindset with a job-creating spirit, and we are pioneering what we call a 21st century approach to philanthropy. We are changing how Africa is perceived and how our 33 African LDCs grow, creating transformative, scalable, inclusive, youth-focused, and people-led economic development. Entrepreneurship, not charity, is the only way to give our youth control, to give them the time, the resources, to allow them harness their talent to drive prosperity. The world's least developed countries are in a race against time to deliver the SDG goals by 2030. And at the Tony Elumelu Foundation, we are uniquely positioned as the leading philanthropy, empowering a new generation of African entrepreneurs to support these 33 African LDCs, achieve poverty eradication, catalyze job creation, fight food insecurity, fight hunger, combat climate change, and increase women economic empowerment. Since the launch of our Tony Elumelu Foundation Entrepreneurship Program in 2015, we have trained over 1.5 million young Africans across the 33 African LDCs. We have disbursed nearly $100 million of our own funding and that of our partners to directly fund 18,000 African men and women across these LDCs who have collectively created over 400,000 jobs across Africa. When the pandemic hit our continent in 2020, our alumni network across the 33 African LDCs sprung into action. In Sierra Leone, Lily Tap, one of our entrepreneurs, developed the first government-endorsed safe and unique hand-washing system for rural communities to mass combat the spread of the virus. In Madagascar, our entrepreneur launched the country's first eco-friendly, low-cost soap gel that did not require rinsing with water, empowering the poorest communities in Madagascar to combat the virus and stay safe, as they did not have access to water and ordinary soap. In Uganda, our entrepreneur Juliet manufactured reusable, washable, biodegradable antiviral face masks as an alternative to single-use face masks across her country. 50% of her proceeds were used to manufacture more antiviral face masks, which were freely distributed to local market women, health workers, and other essential service providers across Uganda. This level of innovation in the wake of the pandemic reaffirmed the importance of our work at the Tony Elumelu Foundation and our holistic approach to empowering small startups and mobilizing them to take action in the face of unforeseen challenges. Despite having some of the most difficult business terrains, one thing is certain: our LDCs in Africa are home to some of the most brilliant, resilient, and innovative entrepreneurs in the world. Indeed, the dynamism of our young entrepreneurs is second to none, given the challenges they must face daily. That they are thriving in the LDCs means they can flourish anywhere. If given the same conditions as that in Silicon Valley, I dare say they could be bigger than Steve Jobs. For years, the Tony Elumelu Foundation has empowered entrepreneurs from across sectors, national borders, languages, with the goal to seed their businesses and drive job creation, poverty alleviation, and scale women economic empowerment across the continent. Through our digital hub, tfconnect.com, young entrepreneurs are trained year-round, exchanging value and expanding business opportunities. Such knowledge transfers help to further unlock the potential of these emerging SMEs. Our African LDCs are full of talented young people who, with capital and training, can deliver outsized returns and drive the economic change that is so desperately needed. Our entrepreneurs, with their energy, expertise, initiative, and sense of responsibility, are creating products, opening new markets, and utilizing innovation to solve economic, political, social, and environmental challenges. In Angola, our entrepreneur Tinde Ragel is empowering local women through her e-commerce startup in the beauty industry. In Benin Republic, where we have continually partnered with the government through Semicity, we have an entrepreneur called Nate Jonas who has used his domestic biogas solution to promote a healthier environment, tackle climate change, reduce the pressures on the environment, and the premature loss of lives of women in his rural community who die because they use charcoal. In Burkina Faso, where 67% of the population is under 25 years old, our entrepreneur Caleb has trained 200 young people who have gone on to create 50 additional small businesses, while also funding the education of 150 students from his village. In Burundi, fondly called the Heart of Africa, our entrepreneur Gizabo is developing the local tourism and hospitality sector to create jobs, turn around the country's image globally, while rejuvenating the economy through foreign exchange by tourists and tax revenues that his business pays. In Ethiopia, Jilsan Ashin has created the first and only commercial integrated fish value chain unit to enable farmers expand production to achieve food security and stability in Ethiopia. Our problems are best addressed with local solutions implemented by local people, and our entrepreneurs like this are the only way we can rebuild the economy across Africa's LDCs. We must restore hope. We must address these endemic challenges to African startups. We must partner to give more of them the skills, the funding, the access, the networks, and the market support. The statistics on female entrepreneurship in particular are very sad. Women make up 58% of the continent's self-employed population, but only earn 34% less profits on average, with an estimated $20 billion financing gap. Our goal is for women to participate more in economic development, realize their full potential, and accelerate economic inclusion. For too long, our women have endured systemic obstacles to starting, growing, and sustaining their business. It is time for all that to change. We are alleviating the funding, knowledge, and market constraints threatening the livelihoods of these young female entrepreneurs on the continent. We are fostering an environment that will create more income, more jobs, growth, and skill for women-owned businesses. With our partnerships with LDC partners like the European Commission, OACPS, UNDP, GIZ, AFD, BMZ, DEG, and Badia, we have leveraged our robust platform and solution to extend our reach to empower more entrepreneurs across the LDCs, but we must do more. In Gambia, Fatimata's Girl Pride, one of our entrepreneurs, is addressing menstrual hygiene problems affecting vulnerable and less privileged women and girls. She's keeping more girls in school and helping to end period poverty. She has employed over 30 workers and impacted the lives of over 30,000 Gambian girls. In Guinea, Valerie is providing education, vocational training, and entrepreneurship capacity programs to female youth population in the country. However, we must do more. That is why we are working on a coalition for African entrepreneurship. We plan to mobilize $500 million in funding to empower young women and men of the African 33 LDCs to create small businesses through our TF model of funding, coaching, training, mentorship, and providing access to global networks. We are calling on all global and regional partners in the room today to work with the Tony Elumelu Foundation to scale our impacts and usher in a new global partnership to ensure that these 33 African LDCs benefit from social, economic, and environmental development. We're excited to work with you to achieve these common goals of a strong, confident, self-reliant Africa. The power of youth entrepreneurship and the work that we do at the Tony Elumelu Foundation will unlock lasting prosperity across the LDCs. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and we look forward to an expanded partnership.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Somachi. It's good to hear about the new coalition to bring together global and African partners to collaborate in a range of areas. Thank you very much.